writer friends, it's Renee from the Lyrical Language Lab, the place where Kidlit writers go to learn about rhyme, meter, and lyrical language. Now, it seems like eons since I have done a peek and critique. So what I thought I would do in this new year is try something a little new to help me work through that backlog and get these things out a little faster. And that is to do some quick and dirty critiques. So this is the quick and dirty version of the peek and critique. It's the same thing, it's just that I'm going to do it exactly like I do in my class, which is with my students, which is I open up our forum, I read their work, and I just say whatever's on my mind about that particular piece, working, with meter or whatever it is, just like I do here, but without all the fancy graphics and editing and, editing out all the ums and oofs and all the mistakes. I'm just going to leave them in because I need to get the show on the road, okay? And I don't want to tax your patience and your attention anymore. I will still do, of course, I have longer teaching videos planned about, how to write dactylic meter. We haven't done trochaic meter. I have a whole bunch of things, and those will be nice and pretty. But the peek and critiques, I just really want to get in and get out and get them out to you, all right? If you are just joining this whole YouTube channel, however, I would suggest going back and starting at the beginning, because with this quick and dirty version, I'm just going to go through and not really explain all the terms I'm using like I have done in the past, okay? So if you're brand new to all this terminology, start with some of the earlier videos and get yourself caught up, and then I'm here, okay? So I'm jumping in, and this is a rhyming picture book sent in by Amy. And I'm going to read it first, okay? He looked really cool with his black mohawk hair and hoped to meet friends who would want to play fair. Then chaos erupted. Kids scrambled in fear when somebody shouted, "The mean beans are here!" They've been there before in their usual spot, protecting the sandbox more often than not. They were up to no good and they thought they were cool, being known as the meanest green beans at school. "Go play somewhere else. You are not welcome here," the mean beans had shouted so loud and so clear. "The sandbox is only for us to play. You're not a green bean, so go away." Fava dragged his feet and walked away, confused on why he could not stay. Elijah was swinging and heard the commotion. He hopped off midair and set off in motion. Elijah was thrilled to meet a new friend and carried his smile like there was no end. "Hello, I'm Elijah," he said loud and clear, and bravely extended his hand with no fear. "My name is Fava," he cautiously said, as he lowered his eyes and hung down his head. He glanced at Elijah and then heard the sound of the tear from his eye that had splashed on the ground. Splat. Okay. Immediately I understand that you are writing an anapestic meter, and in the first few stanzas, it's really consistent and really good. So clearly you know what you're doing there. I'll just scan it really fast. He looked really cool with his black mohawk hair. As you can see, that is carried through the whole thing. He hoped to meet friends who would want to play fair. However, the first thing I noticed about this piece is that the meter then goes, it takes a little turn and it becomes inconsistent. And that begins just about here. In this line. There might be a couple of variations before that, but I really want to move it along and really point out the points where it really stood out to me that the meter is going off in another way. The sandbox is only for us to play. Can you hear that variation? We're missing an unstressed beat. The sandbox is only for us to play. So we still have our 4, by the way, it's anapestic tetrameter, so we've got 4 feet. The sandbox is only for us to play. So right there, we're missing an unstressed beat. Now, it is possible, of course, to have these variations in our meter. And this would be okay if everything else was spot on. But then we've got another one. You're not a green bean. You're not a green bean, so go away. This one we're missing an unstressed beat here and here. So well, we would actually are missing two but it's very often in anapestic meter that first unstressed beat is cut off. Here they're both cut off, plus there's one cut off in the last foot, and so coupled with the variation before, that's a lot of variation in a very short period of time. So that is something I would go look at. And then it continues, because then we've got a difficult word for anapestic meter. You're starting with fava. And that, of course, is stressed on the first syllable. Fava dragged his feet. And this is where it goes kind of wonky. Fava dragged his feet and walked away. It just doesn't really have an anapestic flow to it. So you're not a green bean, so go away. Fava dragged his feet and walked away. This is more trochaic, isn't it? This is how I would read it. Fava dragged his feet and walked away. And that looks like, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 stressed beats in that line, and that can't happen. Because you've got 4 stressed beats all the way through, and now we got 5. Fava dragged his feet and walked away. Or maybe the thing you have to ask yourself, Amy, is, are you reading this anapestically because you know what you want it to sound like and not considering yet what your readers are reading? If I wanted to do this anapestically, go play somewhere else. You are not welcome here. Fava dragged his feet. No, I can't do it. So that line's an issue. Confused on why he could not stay. Again, iambic, trochaic. Confused on why he could not stay. Only got 4 beats, but now that's iambic. Elijah was swinging and heard the commotion. He hopped off mid-air and set off in motion. We've got a little bit of a caesura qui here. He hopped off mid-air and set off in motion. Do you hear that? There's an unstressed beat missing right there. That one I can absolutely live with. I do want to mention while I'm here that motion and motion are not rhymes. It's the same word. Commotion and motion are not rhymes. So you might want to look at that as well. Elijah was thrilled to meet a new friend, missing a beat. Where do we go? Where's my U? Elijah was thrilled to meet a new friend. You've got a caesura there. Variation. Again, this could work if it's one out of a lot of lines. Variation is a good thing. It just needs to be used judiciously so that it doesn't start to stutter, make your meter stutter. And carried his smile like there was no end. Okay, you're back to perfect anapestic tetrameter. However, what does that mean? And carried his smile like there was no end. I feel like this is just writing to the rhyme, which we know we want to avoid. We can't let the rhyme carry the story. We just, it has to be vice versa. Our story comes first, and you've got to figure out how to make it rhyme and make it logical and make it make sense, and also get that progression going as well. There's a lot happening in a rhyme, and this one isn't working for me because of that reason. I feel like it's there just to rhyme, and it doesn't make a lot of what does it mean? Like there was no end to what is my question. Hello, I'm Elijah, he said loud and clear. Back to Anapests, good, and bravely extended his hand with no fear. Okay, we already said bravely, which already means fearless. So this is redundant with no fear. And as I've said in past videos, anytime there's an action that is then described with glee, with no fear, with a big grin, or whatever it is, those give me pause, and I look at those more closely to see if you can say something else, add something else to his emotional life in this moment, whatever it is. But bravely and with no fear is the exact same thing, and the phrase with blah 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 is, just in general, root those out in your manuscripts and see if there's a better way to say whatever it is that you're saying. My name is Fava, he cautiously said. Okay, there's an adverb I'm letting it go because I think it's all right there once in a while. As he lowered his eyes and hung down his head. We have another Caesura here. Let's scan that one. As he lowered his eyes and hung down his head. So, how many beats do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're good. He glanced at Elijah and then heard the sound of the tear from his eye that had splashed on the ground. And then you're ending, well, this little tiny snippet anyways, with perfect, 2 lines of perfect anapestic tetrameter. So, and then you have a break, splat, and that's good too. You have a little sound effect. So, overall, Amy, you clearly have a great ear and a good handle. I think that in the middle there, my guess is that as you were writing this, you just got caught up in how am I going to tell this story and still make it rhyme? And that's the danger, of course, always with writing in rhyme. It's not an easy thing at all. To marry all of those things, storytelling with perfect meter, with rhymes that make sense, with making sure your story is leading and not the rhyme. And I think there's a little section here where the rhyme just sort of took you off in the undercurrent. And I have every confidence that you can fix those up. All right. Now the story itself, obviously, I only have this little tiny snippet. It sounds fun. I like the idea of these beans, coming over here. So you've got some bullying going on and some kindness. And so I think, I haven't seen the rest, so I can't really speak to the story itself. But technically speaking, you are definitely on a good path here. So just see if you can fix up those little spots and also, analyze all your rhymes and make sure they actually are rhymes. And by the way, you are working in couplets, and that is also very consistent, which is great. Okay? And that, my friends, is a quick and dirty peek and critique. Okay? And I hope that these, again, will come more often. I'm going to trying to make a commitment to myself to get these out there so that I can reach as many of you as possible. And I did want to say before we end that if you do submit, of course, as it says on the website, it is no guarantee of having your piece used. And please do not take that personally. I have a lot that I am not using because I've already addressed whatever issues I found in them in a teaching video at some other point. And so, trying not to be too redundant in my content, that is a reason. So don't take it personally. I read everything, and I'm gonna, try to, like I said, make this commitment to get more of these out to you. Okay? So that's it for today. Quick and easy. I'm liking this format, and I hope you do too. And if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that little subscribe button and that little bell so that you're notified of all the new videos. And we'll be back soon, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.